Just to let you guys know that although we introduced this podcast as being an Epcot-focused review show, we didn't read a single Epcot review.
It got hijacked.
It got hijacked.
By me.
Yeah. We started talking about Galaxy's Edge, we started talking about the vision for Epcot, we started talking about Bob Chapek, Bob Iger, Imagineering in general, Universal's Epic Universe.
Yeah.
Basically a good parks catch-up that we haven't done in quite a while. So Epcot reviews will be happening. We will be reading those in the next few weeks. But yeah, this show's a little different, but I think we both enjoyed recording it. So I'll get into the main intro now, which isn't actually the intro. So yeah. Hi, welcome to the Theme Park Trader Podcast with your hosts, Ryan and Dan.
Hello.
This week we are going back to Epcot, unlike Bob Chapek, who's demolishing it.
Calm down, Ryan, calm down.
Bob, why? And we're reading out 4 reviews of Epcot, but from Google, so these are reviews that we've not seen before. Last time we did a 2-parter 2 years ago for the 35th anniversary, and that was using TripAdvisor. So, how this works is basically, if you've not heard one of these shows before, we find a great theme park or a great ride or attraction or restaurant that we think is great anyway, and we read out guests' worst reviews for it because they're always pretty stupid and funny. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy the podcast.
Each of us has a dream, a heart's desire. It calls to us. And when we're brave enough to listen and bold enough to pursue, that dream will lead us on a journey to discover who we're meant to be. All we have to do is look inside our hearts and unlock the magic.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
So I thought this week I originally intended on going through my full plan for next month now.
Oh. Now it's September.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I've still got 2 more days of fast passes to book.
Yeah.
So I wanted to wait until I'd done that. So next week's show will be the plan with updated restaurants, fast passes, little things that I didn't reveal last time.
Next week?
Think so?
Depends if we have a guest.
It does depend if we have a guest, yeah. Maybe the week after. Yeah, maybe the week after.
We'll see. It's coming up, though.
Yeah, it's definitely coming up.
Yeah.
Much like my honeymoon.
There you go.
Yeah, see what we did there? Because of all the changes that they announced at D23, go listen to last week's episode if you want to hear all about that. We thought it would be cool to revisit Epcot, which is my favourite park, as all of you listening will know. And if you don't, where have you been?
News to me.
Yeah, the sounds you're about to hear is me slapping Dan around the face. Hold on, I just need to pause to have...
Just a slurp of your coffee. It's not pumpkin spice, though. I mean, you're off-brand here, Ryan.
Still Starbucks. I'm actually going into town after this, so...
To get your hit.
I may have to do that. I don't want to have more than, say, 2 a week.
Okay, well, I mean, you've already had 2.
I know, but it's opening weekend.
These rules sound a little bit flexible, right?
Well, my thinking is, it's opening weekend, also... Well, that's the only excuse I need, really.
You don't really need an excuse, apart from we found out they were ridiculously high in sugar.
Well, yeah, because I took it into work on Friday, like one of the hot ones, and they did a calculation on the sugar contents, and it's apparently 2 full fat Coca-Cola cans worth of sugar. So it's probably a good job I'm only having 1 or 2 a week.
Yeah. Because I mean, the full fat Coke is not that healthy at the best of times, and yet let alone 2 cans of the stuff.
And then add on to the fact that I'm diabetic.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's a good combination.
In the States, because you're walking so much and you're burning so many calories. I mean, you'll remember from last year, my blood's go down quite a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And I have to inject far less for a PSL over there, even though it's more sugary over there.
Right, okay.
Because of all the energy you're burning through walking and just general excitement. Excitement sweats.
Running around Magic Kingdom.
Let's get into some reviews.
Well, before we do that,
Yeah.
do we want to say anything about Galaxy's Edge?
What about Galaxy's Edge?
Well, it's opened.
It's
open, Ryan. It's there.
It has opened, and
It's alive.
And there's been so many people on Twitter saying it's a failure already.
Yeah, I mean, there's one particular site, isn't there?
There is one particular site.
All it seems to want to do is
Put Disney down.
Yeah, pick holes in it. Which, I mean, I was, on the opening day, it was ridiculously busy, and there were 5-hour queues for Smuggler's Run.
That wasn't as good as Flight of Passage when it opened.
Well, I know, but I mean, obviously they still limited the number of people into the land, didn't they?
Yeah. So I think there's several contributing factors here. So there's a few sites, one in particular, that's basically saying Galaxy's Edge is a failure.
Yeah.
And there's some interesting backstory behind all of this, actually, which I've been informed in during the week. So I'm glad you brought Galaxy's Edge up. So first things first, the ride capacity per hour for Smuggler's Run is higher than Flight of Passage.
Right. Okay.
So that's one thing.
I saw some people saying that, like, whether it did or not, but no sort of like confirmation.
Secondly, when Flight of Passage first opened, I think that they've got 4 theatres. I want to say in total. Obviously, they're massive. I think it's 4, and I want to say that around opening, most of the time it was only 1 or 2 that were actually working properly. So that's another massive contributing factor. Reduces the capacity even further. The other thing is, from what I've heard, the cast members on Smuggler's Run are on it. Yeah, they're getting people in, moving really quickly.
I mean, the thing is, obviously, they've seen how it operates in Disneyland in California, haven't they?
Right. Yeah.
So they should have ironed out a lot of the kinks that they would have experienced over there.
Exactly. I think another few factors here. The hurricane, which is thankfully looked like it's going to pass.
Yeah, it looks like it's where. Yeah. It's hard to tell at the moment, isn't it? It's still kind of
clipping it could still, but at the minute it's looking okay.
Yeah.
That puts people off for the weekend.
Yeah.
Especially locals. And as you said, boarding parties. When boarding parties are in play, if the ride's going to be over 3 hours, what's the point in a boarding party?
Yeah.
So I think that's playing a part as well. You've had people saying that the transition from one land into the next is stupid and it shouldn't be there. To me, so I've seen a video where someone is standing in the middle of Galaxy's Edge and Toy Story Land, and pans to the left and you can see Galaxy's Edge, pans to the right, you can see Buzz Lightyear, and I'm thinking that's I can see the concern in some respects. I can see the concern, but I tell you what has heightened my excitement for this land more than anything else, and it's a video that Donald showed me last night. And it was this guy, he wasn't filming Galaxy's Edge, he was filming himself walking in. Probably in his late 50s. And he walks in and he just goes, oh my God, like wow. And then he starts crying. Because he's such a big Star Wars fan. And to see it
face to face.
It was such a hard-hitting moment for him. That he started crying. Yeah,
because there are so many hardcore fans of Star Wars, and so many. Yeah. And they've grown up with it. They've lived with it for 40, 50 years.
It's over 40 years now. Yeah. It's 77, so...
Yes, it'd be...
So it's 42 years now.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So to see those moments, for me, let's not focus on the land transitions, because at the end of the day, when you're in the land, when you're actually in the land...
Yeah,
you can't see Buzz Lightyear.
Exactly.
And I know, maybe if you stand on a certain box at a certain position, you can see Slinky Dog in the background. But you're looking for that.
Yeah, you're specifically looking for that. It's like, yes, they could have tried to, like in Diagon Alley in Universal Studios. Yeah. They have like a wall, literally you can't see out of it. They could have done something like that, but do they really need to?
I don't think so. And I think,
especially as it's the exit, the main entrance. You have to go through the tunnel, and it kind of bends, doesn't it? I think.
And I think I think yes, they are using the exit as an entrance as well.
They are
at
now.
The moment.
Well, they are now, aren't they?
Yeah.
But they weren't originally.
No.
But whether it's because it's a little bit quieter at the moment.
Yeah.
Because of the factors I think we've spoken about.
Yeah.
They have opened it up.
Yeah, and I think I'm not. That's not going to ruin my experience on Batu.
No, I mean,
I'll be honest.
I mean, these people sort of slating it. Why
what are you gaining from that?
Yeah, why are you slating it? There's nothing to, like, if it's not as busy, that's a good thing, because then you can go and enjoy the attractions that are there.
Yeah, I know Bob Chapek isn't particularly liked, and I don't think he's the greatest person in charge of the parks that we've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Far from it. Now, whether the budget cuts are coming from him or higher than him, I don't know.
Yeah.
But, I agree with his comments on saying wait time doesn't mean that the land has been a success or not.
Exactly.
It's not about that for them. And it's about, at the end of the day, is the land making money? And he's not going to say that on camera.
Is it bringing more business in?
But it is, it clearly is.
Yeah.
And I, for one, am more excited about visiting this land in October than I was a week ago, because I know I'm hopefully not going to have to wait 5 hours to get on the ride.
Exactly. You can enjoy it more, can't
exactly. I can enjoy it. You know what? If it's busy, I can get at a boarding party. I can come back later.
Yeah.
And I know I'm not going to be waiting crazy times. And I am much happier going into that land than I was, say, Toy Story Land, which was mental.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, not really worth it.
Yeah, I mean, it was. Slinky Dog's a really.
Slinky Dog's great.
I enjoy Slinky Dog, and obviously Midway Mania is a great ride.
Agreed.
Obviously,
the land itself,
if they brought out that land with Midway Mania as a brand new ride, it would have been amazing. But considering you've only got Slinky Dog and then Ass, which is okay, but
it's not a bad family ride.
No, it's not a bad family ride. It's better than I thought it was going to be, but
it's still not great.
It's still not great.
You do well. It'd do well at Alton Towers.
Yeah.
But the problem I've got with that land isn't necessarily the ride. It's how cheap it feels put together.
Right.
Like paint was chipping off of
it was,
already.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
And there's no seating areas you've got a little quick service location, but it's so small and hardly any seats. I know they're now building a in Toy Story Land, but it feels like that should have been there from day one. Those are the kind of cuts that Disney are making that I don't really see why.
Yeah, it does feel like it should have been there for day one. Obviously, it's good that they're expanding it.
Agreed, yeah.
It's good that they're not just leaving it and saying, well, this job done. But yeah, you would have liked to see, like, how have they not done like Owl's Toy Barn and all that sort of stuff?
I mean, there's no shop, is there?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I know it kind of it doesn't fit in with Toy Story. It doesn't fit in with the idea, but
who cares?
Who cares really?
I don't think people care that much about. I think Star Wars is a different story.
Yeah,
people care about that stuff.
Yeah, I don't go through Toy Story Land and think, oh yeah, this is Andy's backyard. It's like it doesn't really feel like a backyard anyway.
No, I think the whole design of the land is pretty poor.
It's just kind of like it. Oh, that's Andy's lunchbox, and I get I'm shrunk down to the size of a toy and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. Fine. I don't picture it as Andy's backyard.
No.
So
I think that's because the theming isn't great.
Probably, yeah.
But yeah, so the interesting part behind, and I don't know how much of this is confirmed, but what I've heard and been talking about things with other theme park fans in the community is the guy behind the chief Imagineer behind Batu, Galaxy's Edge, has quit.
Okay.
Now, what I've heard is that it was his decision to base Galaxy's Edge in the new trilogy, despite many people within Imagineering and Disney wanting it to take place on, say, someone like Tatooine in the old trilogy.
Right.
I don't think although it's going really well, I don't think it's necessarily gone as well as they would have liked in terms of the money that them, especially in Disneyland.
Mm-hmm.
And he apparently has stepped down. Apparently.
Right, okay.
And has joined Michael Alio?
Not sure.
From Universal. He's in charge of Halloween Horror Nights.
Right, okay.
Patrick came to the event instead of him.
Right, okay.
So he apparently, none of this is confirmed, is that Michael Alio, I never know how to say his last name, has been promoted to be in charge of Epic Universe.
Well, that's not apparently
that's the case,
that is
right?
The case, isn't it? Yeah, because he tweeted about that.
Yeah,
I saw that. Yeah.
I'm not sure how pleased he is about that. Because he likes doing what he does.
I mean, surely if it's like a promotion, you could say no. I want to stay where I am.
I don't know.
You would have thought, but
I don't know. Yeah. So apparently the chief Imagineer on Galaxy's Edge has now quit Disney.
Yeah.
And is joining Michael at Epic Universe's creation.
Right. Okay.
which is an interesting turn of events.
It is. I mean, it could just be he wants to work on a brand new park.
Yeah.
You know, you can't.
And you've got Galaxy's Edge behind you. Like, what realistically,
that is,
what are Disney going to be doing?
It's a fantastic land. It looks amazing.
It does.
It like the level of detail they've gone to is insane.
Yeah.
From what I've seen, so I don't. Yeah, I wouldn't call it a failure.
I wouldn't either.
You know, I think it feels like the choice to go with the new trilogy. It feels like a better option in terms of like future kind of films and stuff like that. Like, instead of basing it on a 40-year-old film, base it on the brand new films that kids are growing up with now.
I'm still of the opinion that we have three Star Wars lands, right?
Completely. I know
there's three trilogies.
Yeah.
I was still of the opinion that's what they should have done.
Yeah.
Because I would have gone, yes, I'm still planning on going to Disneyland at some point, but I would be much more inclined to travel over to Disneyland if I knew that I could fight General Grievous and Darth Maul.
It goes back to that thing of, if there's more unique experiences at each of the parks, then you're more likely to go to each of the parks, aren't you?
Yeah. I mean, I've heard strong rumours that Disneyland Paris' Galaxy's Edge is going to be Tatooine.
Right, okay.
That's certainly what I've heard. It would make sense. I don't think the space is as big.
Do you think that's... Because obviously Disneyland as a whole gets a lot of local visitors, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Do you reckon that's because... Or they've kept it as the same between Disney World and Disneyland, because Disneyland is just... it ticks over with all its local visitors. It does get international traffic, but not as much as Disney World.
Yeah.
So they can save money by just doing the same, because they know that they're not going to draw a huge number of people over to Disneyland because of Star Wars.
I mean, whereas something like Disneyland doesn't even get advertised to us over here.
Exactly. Disneyland Paris does, along with Disney World. So they want to kind of draw people into both parks.
For me, that would make sense, because I think certainly in the UK, you get a lot of people that go to both Disneyland Paris and Walt Disney World.
Yeah.
A lot of people will go to both parks every couple of years.
Yeah.
It's just how it happens. So for me, if they announced Tatooine, I'd be very excited by that. Could I see it happening? Possibly, but then they're going to have to create at least one brand new attraction, because you can't be fighting alongside the Resistance if you're on Tatooine.
Exactly. I mean, Smuggler's Run could work. I don't know the story. Obviously, they can change the storyline, can't they? Quite easier than they can do to introduce a brand new ride system. If they just copy and paste the ride system, but change the film to fit with...
Realistically, I think...
a New Hope-based storyline.
Disneyland Paris, I think, will get half the budget. think it'll get cut left, right and centre, and I think we'll only get Smuggler's Run.
Right, okay.
I don't think we'll get Rise of the Resistance in Paris.
Well... If it's based in Tatooine, it wouldn't make sense. But
no, well, that's the excuse I use. Isn't it? We'll probably get a better cantina.
Yeah.
Have you heard the music for for Ogre's Cantina?
I haven't.
It's brilliant.
Yeah,
it's absolutely.
I thought you were going to say it's rubbish then.
No, and they do have. I'll show you after we recorded, but it's on Spotify for those listening, and they do have a rendition of the do 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 do. It's not quite like that though.
Right, okay.
But it is good.
It's influenced by.
Yeah. Oh, very heavily. So Galaxy's Edge it obviously opened this week for us recording, last week for you listening, or way in the past if you're listening further down the line.
Yeah.
But I am more excited than ever to be visiting in October. Yes, I'm going to be getting up for 2:06 a.m. starts, but I've got at the moment I have 3. We're getting into the podcast a couple of weeks' time, but I've got 3 reservations for Ogre's Cantina.
Nice.
Cantina, I should say.
Yeah.
One in the morning, one at lunchtime, and one in the evening.
Yeah.
Currently. And I know there's not going to be too much difference, and I may end up cancelling 1 or 2 of them, depending on whether I feel like I've got my full experience or not.
Mm-hmm. You may as well keep them for the time being.
For the time being, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's going to be interesting over the coming weeks and months to see how the queues develop, because obviously you've got as we said, you've got the hurricane at the moment. Is it gonna pick up, say, next weekend once the hurricane's passed? Is it gonna pick up in December when Rise of the Resistance opens?
I think it will. I think that's what people are waiting for. Certainly, if I hadn't booked, in the UK, it's a bit trickier to move holidays.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, we could have done it, but
for Americans, it's going to be a little bit easier. Obviously, we know they don't get a huge amount of holiday time.
Yeah.
So obviously, they need to pick and choose when they go. So if you had to choose between going opening weekend or going 3 months later, when
Rise of the Resistance
is open, you're probably going to choose that.
Yeah, and you know what? If I hadn't already booked my trip, I would have moved my trip.
Yeah.
You know, by booked my trip, I booked all my restaurants almost 4 months ago.
Yeah.
So it's a right faff to try and
exactly
all that, and you know what? I'm going back to Walt Disney World. If it's not next year, it'll be the year after. I may do a little flying visit if I have the time and money.
Yeah.
Just to, even if it's for a weekend, just to do Rise of the Resistance and Halloween Horror Nights maybe, because it's the 30th anniversary next year.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So I could pop along and do a long weekend.
There you go.
You know, because Universal's great, but I could go to Disney World for the day, come back to Halloween Horror Nights at night.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, Galaxy's Edge is open on both coasts now, and most guests seem to be loving it.
Yeah.
You know, there's experiences there that I'm not interested in. Build a lightsaber, I think would be really cool, but getting it home is one problem.
It's difficult, isn't it?
And the second problem is I could probably buy a lightsaber that I liked more from another online store.
Yeah, it does look like a really good experience to do, but yeah, for international guests, it is difficult to get them home.
Yeah, and you know what? I know plenty of stores where I can buy a decent replica lightsaber.
Yeah.
That will get delivered to me, and I'll be able to frame quite easily. So for me, as you said, as much as the experience would be cool, I'm going to save my $200. And the builder droid, I have no interest in at all.
No.
And reports from a lot of people are saying they're breaking quite quickly.
Oh, okay.
Whether or not that's true, obviously you get more people complaining about breakages, and you get people saying,
"Of course,
I've had it for a week now and it's great."
Yeah.
But again, it's not really something I'm that interested in. So Olga's Cantina, or Olga's Cantina, as a lot of people are mistakenly calling it. I've got 3 reservations for, because it's a Star Wars cantina, and there's alcohol involved.
Nice. Well, of course, you're going to be there.
Going to be there, and you know what? I'll be in the general merchandise shops, buying a lot of stuff. I can imagine.
Yeah.
Did
you see all the stuff with the TSA and the Coke bottles?
Yes. So that's been crazy this week, but the TSA have confirmed that you will not get pulled up on having those limited edition Star Wars grenade Coca-Cola bottles, as long as if you're carrying them in your backpack, make sure the bottles are empty. That's the advice, because it's liquid.
Yeah.
Right? So no different to anything else.
Yeah.
If you're carrying them in your suitcase and it's being checked into the hold, you're fine.
Yeah.
So that's officially confirmed by the TSA. There were lots of umming and ahhing. I think it's because there was one DM between the TSA and someone that said...
somebody, they did like an AMA, didn't they? And somebody asked and they said no.
Yeah. But they didn't really do any investigation.
Yeah, because I mean, people had already reported. I've seen people on Twitter saying, "Well, I brought mine back with no problem."
Yeah,
it's kind of like you think, well, you could just take the bottle cap off, or if you had it in your backpack, you would have thought they could open it up and they would see it's an empty bottle. It says Coca-Cola on it, and it's empty.
Yeah,
you know, it's not gonna.
Yeah, and that's obviously the case, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of common sense, really, isn't it? You know?
So you know. Surprisingly, both Donna and myself are actually really looking forward to getting those.
I am as well.
And bringing them back. Yeah. And we were both disappointed at the start of last week to hear that we couldn't. But now we're obviously really happy. And we were actually going to buy them on our first trip to Batu and just keep them in the room for 3 weeks.
Oh, okay.
And then throw them away. If we had to not bring them back. But we can bring them back, which is great.
I think I'm going to, I don't drink fizzy drinks, you know that.
Yeah.
But I'm going to buy them all anyway.
Yeah. I don't know if I'll buy them all. I think I'll get maybe the Sprite and the Coca-Cola.
Right, okay.
But the
what's the other?
Dasani water looks a bit pants.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll get the Dasani water, but I think I'll get the 3, because there's 3 thermal detonator ones.
Is it Diet Coke, Coke and Sprite?
It might be, I'm not sure. I can't remember what the middle one is. I know there's Coke and there's Sprite.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the middle one is.
And they've got like a roaming Coca-Cola cart with a droid in the front now. I don't know if you've seen that, but that looks pretty awesome, I have to say. That was Galaxy's Edge, now open. Should we get into Epcot?
Yeah, I kind of sidetracked that a little bit, didn't I?
Yeah, but that's good, because I think we're both super excited to visit Galaxy's Edge.
Exactly, and it's on point.
It's a massive opening for Hollywood Studios and Disney World as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely breathes a lot of life into Hollywood Studios.
Much needed life as well.
Yeah, like there's literally is there only one thing closed now, which is
Great movie ride, which never should have closed.
which is now opening, which is going to be opening in spring 2020.
Well, it was supposed to be spring 2019, but let's leave that one. Shall we, Chapek?
Yeah.
Twat. Yeah, I do think that the greatest loss Walt Disney World has had over the last 10 years is the Great Movie Ride.
Yeah, I think it was a great loss.
All they needed to do is replace the scenes.
Yeah.
With Disney IPs.
Absolutely.
Which would have been easy.
Yeah, I think they could have easily introduced the Mickey Mouse ride into another location.
Especially in Hollywood Studios.
Yeah.
Get rid of the Frozen Theatre, for God's sake, you know?
Yeah, I mean, there's places that it could have gone.
Even Indiana Jones, I would have been happy if it had gone there.
Yeah, just tear down the theatre.
As much as I love the show, if a new ride's going in, you know, Great Movie Ride was such an iconic, unique attraction.
Mm-hmm. And it did fit very well in the location of the Chinese theatre, but given that it's a theatre.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a cinema, isn't it?
So yeah, it was such a good ride. I think if there was one ride I could ride again, it would be that. Close with the original Figment, but I was a kid when I went on that last.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to the new ride. I'm looking forward to seeing what
they're
going to do with it.
I'm more interested in the technology than I am Mickey's the cartoon style. I don't like it very much.
But I think I am looking forward to it though. I think
I'm sure it'll be great.
But yeah, I think it would have Great Movie Ride would have been a good one to keep.
And that ride fits better at Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, given it's Mickey Mouse.
At the end of the day, you know, and as you know, it's in Toontown and Disneyland. So that says a lot to me about where it should be in Disney World. Yes, I know we don't have a Toontown anymore.
No, but
I mean, to be honest, there was going to be a theatre going into Main Street.
There was.
It could have gone in there.
It could have. Yeah.
I mean, okay, yeah, maybe there's space issues, but it could have gone in Main Street, and I think it would have fit really well.
Yeah, I think they could have found space, and I mean, it does fit. It's the first ever Mickey Mouse-based attraction.
Yeah.
Why would you not put it in Magic Kingdom?
Yeah, I think the biggest shame for me is that the attraction doesn't take you on a journey of Mickey Mouse animation. I think that would have been really cool.
Or through the years.
Yeah, not even necessarily through the years, but like have different styles at different points in the ride.
Right, okay.
I think that would have been really nice. And I get why they've used a new style, but at the same time, I think it would have been really cool to have lots of different styles popping up. And maybe you take a journey through Yensid's hat. And it all kind of how it all goes wrong in Philhar Magic.
Yeah.
That's the transition. It's easy. How Imagineering not doing this? Who's not? Maybe they did, and Chapek was like, no.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's the 3D film or 4D film, isn't there, in Epcot, the Pixar Short Film Festival.
Oh yeah, don't remind me of that.
That's good.
It's not good.
It is good.
Okay, what part of that attraction is original?
No,
that's not original.
How is that not original? Well, I mean,
that was released alongside Frozen.
But it's 4D.
I saw it. But I saw it in 3D.
I'd never seen that before.
Really?
Yeah. I thought it was designed for that ride.
No, it was the short before Frozen.
Okay.
And I saw it in 3D, and it was amazing, and it's still amazing, and it's even better in 4D.
Yeah.
But it's not original.
Oh, okay.
They're all just shorts that have existed before films.
Yeah, I mean, that attraction, that thing as a whole, shouldn't really exist. I thought that first bit was designed for the attraction.
No.
So that's my mistake. But yeah, the other sort of shorts are a bit unnecessary. But
yeah, no, it's a shame. You know what? The more we're talking, the more I think we should save Epcot until another time, because I don't think half hour is going to do it justice. I think this might just be a general
chit chat,
like theme park catch up chit chat, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
My problem with the Pixar shorts and the Disney short is that it's not original. I don't understand why they wouldn't keep Captain EO in there until they had a fitting replacement.
Well,
Michael Jackson's never been convicted.
That wasn't necessarily my reason.
And Captain EO certainly hasn't been.
My reason was that it was very dated.
Yeah, but I get it. But then Frozen came out, 2012?
Okay.
Maybe 2013, something like that.
It's been a while, hasn't it?
Maybe 14. But even so, that short is old now.
Yeah, but it is a very good short.
I agree. And you know what? The only reason I go into that is for that first short.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the other Pixar shorts again and again and again.
Yeah.
And the thing I don't really like about that attraction is that it doesn't change the Pixar shorts.
No,
fine. The Mickey Mouse short is brilliant, and I went in there multiple times. I say multiple times, twice when we were there in May. And I will go again when we're there in next May, to see that short because it is really, really good.
Yeah.
But the other ones I've seen not hundreds of times, dozens of times I've seen them.
Yeah.
So I don't need to see them again.
I remember seeing that short, as a precursor to Frozen.
Right.
And it completely blew me away.
Did you see that at the cinema?
At the cinema, yeah.
Right, because I don't think I saw Frozen at the cinema.
I'm glad I did, just for that short.
It's probably on the Blu-ray, I would have thought.
Maybe, yeah.
Because they normally include them on the Blu-ray, I think. But
so that's my only issue with that, is that they're not original films. And I think it's a real shame. Okay, Captain EO maybe is a bit sensitive, but bring back Honey, I Shrunk the Audience. Have something original in that space. And it's really frustrating to me that is even offered as a fast pass.
It shouldn't be offered as a fast pass. No way.
Like if you've never been to Epcot and you think, oh, that sounds interesting, you don't need a fast pass.
Don't get a fast.
Don't waste your fast pass on it, because you don't need one.
I mean, the fast passes for Epcot are really ropey at the moment, anyway.
They're shocking.
Like you literally have to. Are the choices Frozen,
Test Track
Soarin'? Yeah, which is nuts, really, because everything else on the list you don't really need a fast pass for.
No.
Living with the Land, that's what I normally get. Don't really need a fast pass for it.
I usually get, so basically every time we're in Epcot, and this is again a little bit of a spoiler for a couple of weeks' time. Every time we're in Epcot, we've done Frozen, Test Track, or Soarin'.
Yeah.
And then the other two, every single time, Spaceship Earth, Living with the Land.
Yeah,
every single time.
Every single time. I'll alternate between whether it's Frozen, Soarin', or Test Track. These days, you don't really need it for Soarin'.
No, and most times we've gone for Test Track.
Yeah, the wait for Soarin' isn't too bad. Again, Test Track, there is single rider. So we don't always go for that. I mean, even Frozen now, the queue isn't too horrific for Frozen.
No.
It can get... Obviously, you've got to pick your time of day. But, you can work around all three. None of them are ridiculous. Test Track is probably... If you want to go as a group, Test Track is probably the worst.
Well, Donna and I will always ride together.
Yeah.
So what we tend to do with Epcot is, for the first 2 hours of the day, Future World. Mm-hmm. So I'll try and get the fast passes all for the morning.
Yeah.
We'll either rope drop, Test Track, or Soarin', depending on which one we've got fast pass for.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Then we'll do the fast pass for the one we haven't rope dropped.
Yeah.
And then we'll do Living with the Land or whatever, and then head over to World Showcase for Food and Wine.
Yeah.
And then Frozen will be at some point, potentially, if we've got it. But on one of our days, we didn't need to book Frozen because Adon doesn't like it much.
Oh, okay.
I do, so we've booked it.
Yeah.
But one of the days we didn't need to book it because we booked the is it Epcot Forever, I think? Epcot Forever dessert party.
Right, okay. Well, you get
it's Frozen themed.
Right, okay.
So you get to watch the fireworks, you get to have apparently unlimited alcohol.
That's dangerous.
So I was like, game on.
You just like, I didn't reread that.
Yeah. Sorry, what? Obviously, the Magic Kingdom's dessert party, you don't get that.
That's where we get your money back, don't
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, I don't know, I paid $100 for this. How much are these cocktails individually? $10, sir.
Challenge accepted.
I'll have 10. So you get your desserts, you get your free beers and cocktails and things, and then after I keep saying happy after Frozen Forever, Epcot Forever, as it will be when I'm there, you get escorted to Frozen, where you ride as
you will enjoy this ride
as where you ride as like a dessert party group.
Right. Okay.
You get escorted to the front
with your dessert friends.
Yeah, dessert friends. I wonder if we get to carry our mimosas on board. Not quite finished this one.
I'm not really sure. I mean, you're going to lose a little bit in the drop, aren't you?
I mean, not that much of a drop.
I don't know. If you had a drink,
oh yeah,
interesting to see.
Can I carry a beer on with me?
It'd be interesting to see how much of it you lose.
Yeah. Imagine doing that on Rock and Roller Coaster.
Oh my god!
Just carrying a cocktail on. That'd be incredible, wouldn't it?
I mean, it'd be interesting because I saw a clip of somebody in a plane and they poured water into a cup and then turned the plane around and it didn't go out the cup.
Oh really?
So if you went in the first loop in Rock and Roller Coaster, I wonder whether you'd lose it or not.
Well, I reckon you'd lose it.
It's centripetal or whatever.
I reckon where you'd lose it is the corkscrew.
Don't know, because the plane did a corkscrew.
Oh, okay.
So it'd be interesting to see. I mean, they're never going to let you do it, but
well, a cup of water's not going to cause any harm to the ride, is it?
I don't know.
It's quite an old ride.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll go there and go. Well, we're just doing an experiment here.
Yeah.
Let us on. Cup of water. Do you think they'll let us on?
I mean, you could try it when they're about to close it in Paris, aren't they? Have they already closed?
That's this weekend, I think.
Yeah, so you quickly get over there.
Let's go over there now. Yeah.
Just catch the last ride. It's like, can we just do an experiment?
Yeah. Do you mind?
I mean, you're going to shut the ride down anyway, so if we
You're replacing the track, aren't you?
Yeah.
Can we have the track?
Can you just move it over to this empty lot and we'll
Can you imagine?
There?
Just move it to Worthing Seafront.
I mean,
Get the wheel out of the way.
It'd be the best attraction in Worthing.
Oh, by far.
Yeah.
Get the wheel out of the way. That's rubbish. Yeah. So.
I mean, the thing with the short film festival, what I find weird is it's the same with Figment. They haven't announced any change to that area.
That was the most surprising thing for me about D23. Yeah. And I think a lot of... So someone on Twitter was replying to me who seemed to have inside knowledge. I don't quite know how, but they were saying...
Were they sort of shady? Were they wearing sunglasses and like a trench coat?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. They seem to say that this is like the first phase. Spaceship Earth being reinvented, the whole hub area, Guardians, Moana's Magic Water show, whatever that's going to be. That looks terrible. Is the first phase. Second phase will be New Pavilion in World Showcase and Figment being reimagined. Right, and I would kind of get it if they're doing it in phases because they can't just close half the park. Well, Hollywood Studios did, but you can't just close half the park.
Maybe they're learning from their experiences, Ryan. Maybe they are.
I would have thought, to get a reaction from D23, they would have said, look, it's not happening just now, but don't worry, Figment's getting a nice little overlay and Dreamfinder's coming back. That's all they needed to say.
That's exactly. They didn't need to say when it was... It's kind of like with Spaceship Earth.
They haven't said when it's closing.
They haven't said when it's closing. They haven't said when it's reopening. They haven't said anything about... They gave us a few kind of like concept art pictures and things like that, which are a bit, questionable.
It's a bit worrying, yeah.
Because I had another look. Obviously, we spoke with Epcot Queen about all the Epcot changes and we said that about the Moana scene. And when you look back at it, it is very Moana-y.
Oh, it's definitely
Moana. It's not just a stingray in the sky. There is a boat.
It's like Moana's boat.
Yeah. It's like how you couldn't think that was Moana.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And that's worrying for me.
Yeah.
I think if Chapek ruins Spaceship Earth, he's gone.
It's a dangerous game to play there, isn't it?
Oh, I think if Epcot fans, there are many of them, and they're very passionate about
the vision of the park.
And very, very passionate about Spaceship Earth.
Yeah.
If Chapek screws that up, he's gone. I think he may already. I mean, based on what I'm hearing, he might not be around for much longer anyway.
Right. Okay.
Because if Galaxy's Edge fails.
Yeah,
in Disney's eyes.
Yeah, I mean,
Bob Iger's going to want someone to take the fall.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it was a failure at the moment.
I would agree.
But obviously, we don't. You see the we don't obviously see the financials, and they obviously have certain targets they're expecting.
Yeah. But I think with locals being Disneyland focused, you can only put the annual passes up so much before people just go, I can't afford that.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're going to see that first at Disneyland. Because it's mostly locals that go.
Yeah.
And whereas Disney World is mostly, I'd say, international travellers and people outside of Florida, a lot of them anyway.
Yeah.
They're going to still continue to go because they just save for a little bit longer, right?
Yeah, it's still a big holiday. It's still like a dream destination to go to, isn't it, as a holiday?
Yeah. Whereas Disneyland, if it's all locals and they go, well, I'm sorry, I just can't afford that annual pass anymore.
Yeah.
That's where you see the drop-offs. And I think it just happened to be this summer where they increased the prices too much.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we've seen blackout dates, haven't we? I don't know, have they...
Well, they reversed those eventually.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
The crowd still didn't come.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to watch and see how the crowds develop over time. Because obviously, we've seen cuts and we've seen ticket increases and we've seen all sorts of things going on, all sort of cost-saving measures that Disney has been doing. And, yes, maybe so far it hasn't affected them too much, but maybe we're starting to see the effects of that.
Disneyland, just this past weekend, has cut all of its live entertainment during the day.
Okay.
Because they weren't getting the attendance over the summer.
Right.
Now, to me, that's not the right attitude. That is not the right attitude.
That's not going to bring people back.
That for me is someone like Chapek, and whether it's him or not, I don't know. It's someone like him going, "Oh, we're not making as much money. Let's cut things to make that money back."
Yeah.
Whereas what they should be doing is Disney. You know, they're not a small company.
Yeah.
What Disney should be doing is going, let's introduce a new daytime show.
Mm-hmm.
Let's bring people in.
Bring new people in, not new people, but it bring the people back.
And it's not difficult, right? You just bring in what are they called? I can't remember. Bring in the this is going to really annoy people. The singing quartet. Bring them in. Combine them with another castle stage show. Mm-hmm. Boom! You've got something that's never happened before.
Yeah.
Bring in a trolley car. Bring in a horse. It's like literally like they've all rehearsed stuff before. Job done. You've got a new show out of nothing.
Yeah.
If Bob's listening, I should be head of parks and resorts.
He's just going to hand over his job. That's what he's going to do. He's just like...
You can have it.
Yeah. He'd probably do it at this point, wouldn't he?
Yeah. I'd love to do that job. Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
The first thing I'm going to do is cancel Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway at Hollywood Studios and bring back... but we've already spent $10 million on this. I don't care. You're
going to move... No, just move it.
Yeah, we're going to pick it up.
Bring back Great Movie Ride.
All the animatronics have been destroyed. They were terrible anyway. We'll put new ones in.
I mean, they needed to destroy them anyway.
Yeah.
Like, if they were going to change that ride, they needed to gut it and do it again. Like, give it a brand new look. Keep the general idea of the attraction. Yeah. But, you got to change these things over time. You just can't keep them ticking over
100%,
forever.
Yeah, 100%. So... Yeah, it's an interesting time for Disney parks at the minute, and I think for what I'm hearing at Universal, it's an interesting time at Universal as well, because according to rumours, they don't necessarily know what's going on with Epic Universe the same as we don't.
Okay.
That's why Michael's been brought in, but who knows? I mean, these are people talking to people who are talking to people who are talking to people.
Yeah, I mean, you would like to hope that obviously a brand new land they've got a vision set out for it.
You think so?
They're not going to announce it and then be like, "Oh, we've announced it, but we didn't know what we're doing."
Yeah. The biggest problem that Disney have got though is that they set out these grand visions and then halfway through they suddenly make cuts.
Yeah.
And there's no real reason for it. They're making money. They're making a lot of money. Mm-hmm. But I know that box office versus Disney parks is a different kind of revenue streams for them. But they're still one company.
Yeah, as a company as a whole, they're still making a lot of money.
So invest that into the parks as well as into your new movies. And I just think, especially, I think the biggest example of that, as we said earlier, is Toy Story Land. Because when you look at the original concept art, there was more to Slinky Dog Coaster than they actually built.
Yeah.
There was more to the land than they actually built. And you can very easily see how many corners were cut when you walk into that land because it's already, for want of a better phrase, falling apart.
Yeah.
I mean, when we were there, Wheezy wasn't working. No. And that was, 2 months after opening?
Yeah, I think the biggest shock for us was when we got on the attraction. It was like, we saw the paint coming off. We saw the, whatever it is, foam padding, flaking and things like that.
2-3 months.
It'd only been open 2-3 months. And it was just like, wow.
And you can say, oh, that's guests, tearing it apart and stuff. Well,
it doesn't happen to every attraction.
Well, yeah, for one, I get that, and people are idiots.
Yeah.
But two, look at attractions like Big Thunder, Space Mountain. They still look great 40 years on.
Yeah. Well, not Everest. Sorry, you didn't say Everest.
I said Big Thunder.
Big Thunder, okay, yeah.
And Space.
When you said Big Thunder, my mind immediately went to Everest for some reason.
I mean, Everest is broken.
Yeah.
You can thank Joe Rohde for that. But no, don't worry. He's sorting out an island for cruise ships to visit now. So he's focusing on that.
Obviously, you get the important things done.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's when you say about the, I can't think of his. Who's the guy? You didn't say a name of the Imagineer of Galaxy's
I can't remember his name. No.
But yeah, I mean, you see this in not just obviously in Imagineering, but you see it in the video game industry when big people leave those sort of industries. there's always speculation about, is it because the land failed and things like that, but it could just be a case of his job is done.
Yeah,
he's finished what he was doing, and now
he doesn't want to go. He doesn't want to go and design a hotel.
Exactly, he wants to go and work on the brand new
theme park.
I couldn't get my word out there. Brand new theme park that Universal are building.
Why
would you not want to do that? You know, it's not like if in 5-10 years down the line he's finished what he wanted to do at Universal. There's no reason why Disney would not rehire him.
No, exactly.
You know, if he's good at what he does, why would they not rehire him?
No, I agree. As long as they're left on good terms, there's no reason why.
Exactly.
And to be honest, by that point, Chapek, Iger, that whole group is gone.
Yeah.
Presuming Chapek's not going for the CEO role, I think if he does, that's a stupid move by Disney.
Yeah.
Because it's very clear he can't do his job now. He's literally, I don't know if you saw the opening ceremony, but I don't dislike him as a person, but he's the most unengaging person that you could possibly listen to.
Yeah.
And he's not excited by anything. Like, you expect for a land opening like Galaxy's Edge, you'd be like on it, like super excited. I'm really, really happy with that.
Yeah.
Let's make this a big deal.
Considering that's his job, it's not like he's the CEO of Disney. He's not the CEO of everything Disney does. No. So you've
got to be passionate. You should be passionate about the parks.
That's all he does.
Yeah.
So he should be passionate about it.
Even if you're not, right, and you're in it for the money, which we all are to a certain extent.
Yeah.
You've got to put on an act, right?
Yeah.
As he will say, cast members are on stage, right? That's why they're called cast members. Mm-hmm. Why is he not one? He's the most unengaged person, really boring to listen to. If I'm on stage opening Galaxy's Edge, I'm doing cartwheels onto the stage.
Yeah.
I've got streamers hidden up my sleeves, ready to go. Just.
But I mean, the thing is that I guess it's difficult. At the end of the day, he's not a CEO, but he is kind of the CEO of the parks.
He's a businessman.
That's the thing.
And I think that's the problem, though. You need an Imagineer in that role.
Yeah, because he doesn't come up with the ideas.
No.
He just signs the checks.
Basically, and reports into Bob Iger, who goes, "That's too expensive."
Exactly. Oh. It's kind of like Bob Iger.
Yeah.
He's not coming up with the ideas.
No.
It's the people actually doing the work and coming. It's kind of like, again, with the Imagineer that did Galaxy's Edge. It would be difficult to pin it on one person.
Agreed.
Because, he's got bosses, and those bosses would have had to approve. If they really wanted Tatooine, they would have said, no, you're doing Tatooine.
I agree, yeah, I completely agree.
It's just because he may have been in charge of the vision of the land and things like that, but he's got to report to people that would say, no, you're doing this wrong, or yes, you're doing it right. So
I do believe, though, that the person in charge of Disney parks and resorts should be an Imagineer.
Yeah, he should have... He should have, spent the time doing the things that Imagineers do, and coming up with the rides and lands and everything like that. Have a vested interest in the parks, as opposed to just thinking about the bottom line.
Oh, completely. Because that doesn't bring creativity.
No, and I think, as we said before, with you've got Disney as a whole. They've got so many different branches to the business now, but each branch supports each other. The film business supports the parks support the films. If you come out with all these new films, you put them into the parks, people will go to the parks and they'll watch the films, and it's all interconnected.
I think what you've seen with Bob Iger is he is really passionate about TV, because he came from a TV background within Disney.
Right.
He's very passionate about TV, he's very passionate about movies, and you've seen that with the acquisitions that he's made,
and the massive investment that they've done to like the Marvel universe and everything.
Exactly,
like that.
You've seen that, and the problem with him is that he's not as interested in the parks, and you can see that the park under his tenure, Disney Animation Studios, Pixar, and live action movie making has excelled tenfold, easy.
Yeah.
He's done a great job there. Disney parks, not so much.
Yeah,
we've seen some great things under his wing. Don't get me wrong.
Absolutely, yeah. I was going to say that. Yeah,
but not as much as Eisner.
Right. Okay.
Now he was super passionate about the parks. He loved the parks, and under his wing, Disney movies didn't do particularly well as a whole.
That's the thing. I think
I'm talking about as a whole.
Yeah, I think it's difficult to. Obviously, it's going to be difficult to find somebody that's passionate about all of it.
Yeah.
and it is going to be difficult to a degree. But you probably almost need somebody, the Bob Chapek person, to be pushing the parks to Bob Iger.
Yeah. He needs someone excited.
Yeah, he needs to get him on side, and he needs to get him excited about the parks and really push it. Maybe Chapek hasn't done that as much as he should.
Doesn't seem like he doesn't seem any more to me than a businessman. And I think, in my opinion, someone leading Disney parks should be more than just a simple businessman or woman.
Yeah. I mean, you probably need you need like a Bob Iger person who's passionate about the films. You need him who's passionate about the theme parks ahead of the theme parks. So then, because obviously the films make a lot more money than the theme parks would do, and so
I think you'd be surprised how much the parks make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, last year, the films made $7 billion at the box office.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'll try and carry on talking. I'll try and find the figures.
So you would have thought you probably need somebody if the films are ahead. Whatever's the biggest revenue earner for Disney, you need somebody that's in charge of that to be at the top, because that's what they're really pushing. If that's their big money earner, then you need to focus on that. But you need people at each department to really spearhead that department.
Yeah.
To really and push it up to the person at the top to say, we need to invest in this. We need to invest in this.
Well, Disney Parks last year made a profit of $4.5 billion.
Profit, right? Okay.
So that's big.
Yeah.
That's huge. Now we don't know. I don't know that off the top of my head the profit the movie's made, but I mean, $4.5 billion is massive.
Yeah, for profit that is huge, isn't it?
But I think Bob Chapek, as much as people can dislike him, he's obviously made Disney a lot of money. But what he's missing, I think, is he doesn't seem to have if he does have a creative mind, I don't think we've seen it. And maybe he shows it behind closed doors.
Yeah.
But for me, and he was on stage at D23, there's no passion in what he's saying. There really isn't. He's just, it's all, he came on stage, I think there were loads of singers for Epcot Forever and stuff, and he's just at the background, like, not smiling, not interested.
Yeah.
And I think for me, if I'm on stage and I'm bringing about Epcot's vision, and I've got the new sound to Epcot, I'm there, like, dancing away in the back, and I might get turned into a GIF and made a fool of, but you damn well know that Disney Park fans are on your side.
Yeah, and if you're excited about it, then the fans are going to be excited about it and things like that, aren't you?
And I don't think I know any Disney Parks fan that likes Bob Chapek.
Right.
And that's a concern.
Yeah, I mean, when you see all the cuts that they've made, things like, yes, we've seen, Galaxy's Edge, we've seen Pandora, we've seen Toy Story Land, which is debatable. We've seen, investments in the other parks as well.
Yeah.
I don't want to just talk about Disney World, but we have seen investments around the world.
And they've bought Disneyland Paris, so let's not forget that. They've taken over completely that park.
They have done some good things.
Shanghai.
Yeah, of course, yeah. And there's massive investments into Tokyo and Shanghai.
They're spending billions on the parks.
And Hong Kong as well.
Billions.
That's the thing. They're spending a lot of money. But when you see the cuts that they're also making, well, you're sort of giving with one hand, but then you're taking away with the other. Yeah,
and I think that's the biggest problem they've got. And also, from what we understand, what's planned and what's actually made is there's a lot of cuts in between.
Yeah, so you always have to take what they show you with a pinch of salt, don't you?
I think in my opinion, if the budget's been signed off to get something done, that's when you reveal it to everyone. Yeah. If you think even there's a chance that Tony Stark's house at Epcot. Which it is. It looks like Tony Stark's house. The glorified beer garden.
Yeah.
If that's got a chance of being cut, don't show it.
Yeah.
Don't talk about it.
Exactly. You can't show it, and then 2 years down the line, you show another concept art and it's completely changed.
Yeah.
And you would have thought the only reason for doing that is budgetary reasons, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're not going to show a concept art if you then turn around and say, if the Imagineers then turn around and say, well, we can't build that.
Yeah.
It's like
you've only given us $100 million to do that. This is a $5 billion project.
Yeah. It's like you wouldn't have thought they would do that.
No.
You would hope that they wouldn't do that.
No.
And so you think, that's only going to disappoint fans, isn't it? If you show them one thing and then 2 years down the line you show them something else, and then 2 years down the line when they actually built it, it's completely different again.
That seems to be what happened with Toy Story Land.
It is, yeah.
Galaxy's Edge seemed a little bit closer to where it should have been, but from what I understand, originally we had 3 attractions planned.
Right, okay.
So already they made cut to 2.
Yeah, I mean there was that kind of like footage of was it the
Oh, the Bantha.
I was going to say Bantha, and I thought, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was footage of that, isn't it? And
so they cut that?
Obviously, well, it's difficult, isn't it? You don't know what was confirmed, and
there could be another 20 videos of different prototypes.
Exactly. Was that really early prototype, and they decided, no, this is crap, we're not going to do it?
Or maybe
you don't know.
That's coming in Tatooine, Disneyland Paris, because Banthas don't live on Batuu; they live on Tatooine.
Yeah.
So maybe we haven't seen it.
Exactly. It's difficult to sort of like judge some of these things that get leaked.
Yeah.
You have to be careful about them, don't you?
But for me, going back to Galaxy's Edge, when we all started, I think the biggest disappointment with the land, and I'm not disappointed by the land as a whole at all, is that I don't get to see some of my favourite characters like General Grievous, like Darth Vader, like Darth Maul, like Sidious, and that is the only part that I'm a little bit... I mean, Grievous as a whole is massively underrepresented at any Star Wars element of any Disney park, but I understand the need to ground it in one area.
Well, exactly. I think you sort of mentioned all those names, and they're spread across the entire
like 30, 40 years.
So you can't. I don't think you could ever, unless you were going to build an absolutely vast land with a section based on each trilogy with multiple rides, like 2 rides per trilogy.
Yeah.
Which they're not really going to do.
That's what I would have done.
Just open up a brand new park.
Star Wars.
Yeah. They don't even need to call it anything else, just Star Wars.
The park's just called A Long Time Ago in a galaxy far, far away.
And that's the length of the names we would expect these days from Disney.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless they're going to do that, you're not going to get every character. They need to focus on a particular time period. And I don't see them focusing on the original, the prequel trilogy, given how much kind of like controversy there is over.
There's a lot of controversy over this trilogy.
Well, there is a lot of controversy, but I think if they were going to go for one controversial one over the other, I think that it makes sense to pick the new trilogy, which is obviously in the mind. It's in the minds of everyone at the moment.
Yeah, I agree, and I think the other thing is, Star Wars fans seem to think a lot of Star Wars fans, I should say, seem to think the original trilogy is gold dust.
It's the best thing ever made.
Return of the Jedi is not a good film.
Yeah, I mean, they all have their ups and downs, don't they? Like, in all of the kind of sagas that they've got, in all the trilogies that they've got, there are great moments in the prequel trilogy. There are great moments in the original trilogy, but at the same time, there are bad moments in both of them.
I mean, Ewoks are a terrible idea. Yeah. Absolutely awful. Terrible idea.
Yeah. There are some very weak points in both in
every film. And there's there's weak films. There's weak parts in every movie.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
It doesn't matter what it is. So I think Star Wars fans, you tend to like what you grew up with.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of the prequel trilogy as much as I'm a fan of the original trilogy, because in 1999, when Phantom Menace came out, I was 8. The perfect age to watch a Star Wars film at the cinema.
Yeah.
So I love the prequel trilogy. I also love the new movies. I also love the original trilogy, which I watched on video when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited for Galaxy's Edge. I know you are as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that really is the crux of this entire
this Epcot
dedicated episode. So thank you very much for listening. We promise we will do Epcot reviews at some point in the near future. Do go and give us a 5-star rating on the iTunes podcast app. And go and follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and visit our website, themeparktrader.com, where you can currently win a 7-day trip to Walt Disney World. So thanks very much for listening, and we'll see you again next week.
Ah, there you are. And just in time. There's a little matter I forgot to mention. Beware of hitchhiking ghosts. They have selected you to fill our quota, and they'll haunt you until you return.